My name is Sylvia Massy, and you're with me here at Studio La Fabrique recording a library for Toontrack. I'd love to take you through the setup to show you the microphones I'm using and the other accessories I've got set up in the session. First off, I want to show you the ambience mics in the back of the room. We have a pair of TLM 50s, which are Omni mics made by Neumann. So I want the Omni so I can capture the back of the room. The reflection of the drums will hit that back wall, come back, and you'll hear them in the back of these mics, as well as in the front. So you get a big room sound with those. As well, in the back of the room here, I've set up a PA with a special mic on the kick drum just to run into that PA because I want to pump up the room with low end. So we get extra big kick drum with this setup. All right, now I want to talk about the weirdos. I have a bunch of very strange, weird recording devices set up that we went out and collected from a local thrift store. And there's some fun things that we found at the thrift store, including over here on this bench, you'll see an old telephone that's been modified so that it'll be used as a mic. And then we have a tape recorder that's isolated in a cabinet over here, and it's a cassette recorder, and this is the microphone going to that. So we got some extra goodness. These are all kind of dirty sounding. So if you want some extra dirt in your sound of your drums, there it is. This is what you want to use. We also have just a straight old mono room mic, which is a Beyer, and that'll be useful, possibly. Also, another mono mic that is set up closer to the kit, actually pointing to the drummer, MD21 Sennheiser, which is the predecessor to the Sennheiser 421. And it has a similar sound, but it's Omni. It's a great mic for that position in the drums. It captures the whole drum kit. Also, wrapped around the base of the drum kit, you'll see a hose, and that hose has a microphone on the end of it, taped in, so that it's capturing the sound from the drum kit, but it filters out all the cymbals, so you don't get the washy cymbals that sometimes drummers will give you. And so it helps to beef up the entire drum kit if you add that in. I oftentimes will put a compressor on it and then add that into the drum kit, and it just rounds it out. The other weirdo that we have today is this bottle of water with a mic hanging inside it. So now it's just ducked into that water, and you're getting the sound basically of the low end of the kick drum and the low end of the toms filtering through that water, and it's very wobbly sounding and wonderful. All right, now let's take a close look at the mics on the drums, the serious mics. On the snare drum, on the top head, I've got an SM57, a Shure mic. Yeah, I know it's a $100 mic, but that's a serious mic for studio work. As well, underneath the snare, I have a Sennheiser 441 mic, which will capture the snares on the bottom. And it's very directional, so it won't capture what else is happening around it. These two mics are pointed at each other, the top mic and the bottom mic, the 57 and the 441. So because they're pointed at each other, I'm going to want to flip one of those out of phase. There's several mics on the kick drum. One of them is a 421 that goes directly out to the PA. We're not actually recording that one. But the next to it is an RE20, which is an electro voice mic, and that is set up to the front head. Alongside it, I have a condenser mic, a FET 47. It's a Neumann U47 FET, and that's up in the front. Oftentimes a great mic for recording outside the kick drum. You get the air of the kick with that. Next, we have the toms, which similar have a mic on the top and the bottom. The top mic is a Shure SM98, which is a clip-on, and underneath is a Sennheiser 421, and they're pointed at each other again. So one of those mics will need to be flipped out of phase. The 421 on the bottom of the tom is used to bring up the body of the tom. So what I get with the 98 on top is the attack, the smack, whereas the bottom is the richness of that drum and the tone. So when I have the two mics up on the desk, I'll blend them in a way where I just have just enough body in the drum to really get a tone, to get the note of the drum. And then I actually will bus both of the mics, the top and the bottom mics, to the same track. I think that blending it on the desk before the recorder is the best way to get a punchy drum sound, with the toms especially. And then let's talk about hat and ride. On this kit, I'm using the capsules from a 451 AKG C451 mic for both the hat and the ride. Above, on the overheads, we have a big arc of cymbals here, and I want to capture the whole arc of cymbals. So I've got two coals, they're ribbon mics, set up over the sides of the cymbal arc. And the coals are bidirectional, so they're ribbons, so you'll get not only the front here, but you'll also get the ceiling. You'll hear the cymbals in the room from the coals. As well, I've got a C24 AKG tube mic here, stereo, to capture the cymbals this way. So we have two ways to capture the cymbals. They're going to be very different from each other. Well, there you have it. We're recording in the arcade today, but during our recording session here at Studio La Fabrique, we're using the big cement room, a giant mill, a stone mill, a library. There's all kinds of excellent spaces that we've been utilizing, using the same basic mic setup in each of these places with radically different drums. So there's a lot to choose from, and we hope you enjoy it.